What if we nuked Jupiter? The surprising results revealed. Scientists and science lovers everywhere are in an uproar right now. NASA and other space agencies are mulling over what to do with Jupiter, and their answer might shock you. In fact, you may want to grab a chair before you read this next sentence because it could change the future of humanity forever. NASA just announced that they're considering nuking Jupiter. What if we nuked Jupiter? What would happen if we blew up the biggest planet in our solar system? When you think of Jupiter, you probably think of the most massive planet in our solar system. But what would happen if we nuked it? A group of scientists ran a simulation on a supercomputer to find out, and the results were surprising. Jupiter's size means that any changes to its mass would have dramatic effects on our own planet. If we blasted 1 ton, 1,000 kilograms, of material off the surface using nuclear bombs, Earth's orbit would shift by about 6 inches, 16 centimeters, because we are so close to Jupiter. This could have catastrophic consequences for life on Earth, such as causing earthquakes and tidal waves as well as disrupting atmospheric processes which regulate heat and oxygen levels. They found that detonating a single 1 kiloton bomb with 100% efficiency on Jupiter would be equivalent to using 2.5 gigatons of TNT on Earth. Detonating 5 megatons at once was equivalent to 7 gigatons of TNT exploding here, or roughly the power behind an asteroid impact with the Moon. However, their simulations suggest this could just knock Earth off course. There might not be enough force from these blasts alone to completely destroy it outright.
To cause the kind of devastation seen during World War II on Earth, they estimate it would take between 500 1000 atomic bombs dropped all over the planet at once.
The resulting explosions would generate enough radioactive fallout to cover the entire globe within weeks, with impacts being felt for decades after. And while each blast wouldn't be able to wipe out humanity altogether, it certainly couldn't help but accelerate climate change even further. So is this even possible? Yes. It turns out you can get all the necessary ingredients from ground-based sources, like volcanoes and rocks. Even better, explosives that work best on planets also work best on gas giants' hydrogen bombs. These weapons release a lot more energy than chemical explosives do when they go off. By using hydrogen bombs rather than conventional explosives, we could make sure the whole process goes much faster. According to estimates done before the nuclear age began, there's more than enough explosive material available on Earth right now to build 1,000 H-bombs with 100% efficiency each. That sounds like plenty to use against Jupiter right now. Nuking a gas giant like Jupiter is really just a complicated way of creating an artificial star. So why would we want to do it? For one thing, it would give us more fuel for our fusion reactors. But more importantly, nuking Jupiter could provide the ultimate radiation shield for Earth against rogue asteroids and comets. And finally, it's possible that nuking Jupiter could cause the planet to heat up so much that it turns into a red dwarf star and then cools off over time, which would make the Earth less vulnerable to extreme cosmic events like solar flares and supernova eruptions. In short, nuking Jupiter helps protect all life on Earth from deadly cosmic events. That said, as with any plan, there are pros and cons. Among them are dangers like turning Jupiter into an unstable white dwarf star or even destroying Earth in the process. Even if we had all the necessary knowledge needed to pull this off safely, it still may not be worth risking our own lives or those of future generations by doing something so drastic. It's important to think about what nuking Jupiter could mean for humanity and what it can't fix before making any decisions that might endanger human life in general. As we've seen here, there are some clear upsides to nuking Jupiter, but at the same time, there are also many things to consider before carrying out such a dangerous plan. Of course, the idea of nuking Jupiter is only hypothetical. If anything were ever done to Jupiter, it would have to be done remotely because no spacecraft has ever reached its atmosphere. Still, considering how long-lasting the effects of nuclear weapons have been on Earth, and will continue to be, it makes you wonder, how far should humans go in order to save themselves? Is it wrong to risk other people's lives if we're only looking out for ourselves? How much control should humans have over their environment? When everything seems so fragile and every decision carries great weight, where do we draw the line between good science and bad science? Who decides what's too risky to carry out experiments on, like nuking Jupiter? How soon will it be before someone actually does try this experiment and exposes humanity to risk once again, risk of extinction? These are questions without answers, questions that society needs to address head-on in order to ensure our own survival. It sounds like a crazy idea, but what if we nuke Jupiter? What would happen? A team of NASA engineers has been toying with the idea and has come up with some interesting results. The first result is that it would be difficult to nuke the planet because its magnetic field would deflect any incoming missiles. However, there are other options. Scientists believe that a 100-megaton nuclear weapon detonated at a specific spot in the planet's atmosphere could create enough heat to cause the hydrogen in its atmosphere to be ionized and split into two parts. One part would escape from the planet, while the other part would become heavier and sink down toward Jupiter's surface. If done correctly, this process might eventually lead to a breakdown in Jupiter's gravitational pull on its moon Io. That being said, this process might not work as well as hoped for. Scientists claim it could take 10 years or more for this geoengineering process to make an appreciable impact on Earth. But still, scientists say that just one nuclear explosion might make enough of an impact for them to see changes in data collected by space probes sent deep into the atmosphere. But who knows what will happen if scientists start studying this possibility more closely? They may find something better than expected. So next time you're talking about taking out big bad planets, think twice before saying never. Who knows? Maybe all those sci-fi movies have inspired us to finally figure out how to save ourselves. Maybe just one bomb could end world hunger. Maybe there is something else happening out in our galaxy, and astronomers can't see it yet. Either way, we need to continue researching new ways to protect Earth and understand why these disasters keep happening so often. After all, as science fiction author Isaac Asimov once wrote, Earth was spoiled long ago. There are many reasons to be skeptical about the idea of nuking Jupiter. For one, it's not clear what would happen to Earth. Would we be caught in a radiation storm that would destroy our atmosphere and all living things on the surface? Another issue is that it seems unlikely that nuking just one planet would have any effect on the warming of our climate. In reality, there are other ways for us to combat climate change, like shifting away from coal and natural gas as sources of energy. There are also alternative approaches for combating pollution such as carbon capture and sequestration or geoengineering projects. If we could find a way to harness solar power more effectively, then we might not need nuclear power at all. However, most experts agree that if another major asteroid was headed towards Earth, then nuking it may be worth considering, but only with extreme caution. One thing they seem to unanimously agree upon is that without a backup plan, we should never let ourselves get into a situation where this option becomes necessary. Doing so would show a callous disregard for life on Earth, as well as future generations who deserve to live here. Instead, we need to do everything in our power to prevent such catastrophes before they can occur rather than relying on desperate measures which offer no guarantees. That being said, in an ideal world, every country would cooperate to work together on important issues such as climate change, but sadly this isn't always the case. The long-term effects of nuking Jupiter are still unknown. However, the short-term effects would be catastrophic. Earth would be bombarded with radiation, and it would take years for the planet to recover. Although this is a hypothetical scenario, we know that there is always a chance of disaster striking our planet, whether man-made or natural. It's important to have an emergency plan in place so that you can be ready for anything. One way to protect your family from disaster is by storing food and water supplies. You should also build a bunker underground or buy one pre-built. The cost may seem high, but think about what could happen when the next hurricane hits your city, an earthquake destroys your home, or something worse occurs. That being said, if you like this video so far, then make sure to like, share, and subscribe for the algorithm, and don't forget to comment down your thoughts below.